Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. So today I'm going to be doing a Super Nintendo Classic Edition rant. So why is this a rant? I mean, like, really, I am totally fine with, I think the Super Nintendo Classic Edition looks pretty darn cool. You know, with the games that it has. Let me just pull up quickly the games that it has. You have Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Link to the Past, F-Zero, Super Metroid, Star Fox and Star Fox 2, which Star Fox 2, of course, was never released. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Punch-Out, Super Castlevania 4, Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man X, Kirby Superstar, Final Fantasy 3, Kirby Dream Course, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario RPG, Contra 3, Secret of Mana, Earthbound, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So, you know, the thing is, it looks really cool. I mean, the cord, first of all, is going to be longer for the controllers, which is always nice. And there's, like, compared to the NES Classic Edition, even though there's less games, there's more in those games. There's more substance, like Super Metroid, for instance, or Super Castlevania 4, or Donkey Kong Country with the graphical capabilities, same with Star Fox. So, there's a lot more, to these games, obviously, than NES games, so it's understandable that there's less games. That's not the problem I have. The problem I do have is Nintendo going to keep on their promise that this is going to be more stocked and, like, more plentiful than the NES Classic? Because I think it's stupid that the NES Classic, okay, this is going to be really my main rant here. It's not about the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. It's the NES Classic Edition. Because the NES Classic Edition got jack shit. It got shit on. And the thing is, I want that. I want the NES Classic Edition. Because the thing is, if I had to choose between the NES Classic Edition and Super Nintendo, I would get the NES Classic Edition because I don't have an NES. I don't have any of those games. With the Super Nintendo, I have a Super Nintendo. I have Super Mario World. I have A Link to the Past. I have F-Zero. I have Star Fox. I have Super Metroid. I have Donkey Kong Country. I have Yoshi's Island. I have a lot of these games, and it's just like, I want an NES Classic Edition because I don't have any of those games. It kind of sucks. And when I go onto Amazon and to see the best, sorry, my hair is doing its own thing, and to see the best, oh my god, it's awful now, I am so sorry, but to see the best price on it is over $150 when the original retail price was $60. Gah! This is all Nintendo's fault. I am sorry, I have been praising Nintendo for everything they've done with the Nintendo Switch. I love this system. This system's brilliant. They're doing all the right things with it. But with the NES Classic Edition, they fucked up so much. They really did. Because they hyped this system. They hyped the NES Classic Edition. They hyped it so much. But then they just sprinkled a little thing. I thought it was going to be like an amiibo situation where they would, like, sparkle, like, they would give little supply to make the demand higher than it really, would have been. And then they would have given the supply. But they skipped that second part and just kept the scalpers and the people wanting it going. And that's the thing. They gave enough so that the scalpers can get some, but not enough to where everyone can get some. Because now, like, it's unfortunate. People have resorted to actually buying the scalp, because Nintendo have discontinued the NES Classic. Why? Why? It is doing so well. It did so well. And people still want them. I want one. Happy Console Gamer wants one. Millions of people still want one of these, but you're not going to make them? Is it because you think it would obstruct the Super Nintendo Classic thing? That's stupid. You should delay the Super Nintendo Classic if you need to, and release more NES Classics. Simple. People will be like, oh no, we want the Super Nintendo. Listen, millions, there are people who want the NES Classic Edition that couldn't get one, and people are actually buying them from the scalpers that are selling them for $150, $200, $250, $300. Which is absolutely mental, given that the system was originally $60. I'm not going to pay more than I would for an Xbox One an Xbox One S or PS4 or a Nintendo Switch for an NES Classic Edition. For something this big that plays retro video games. I'm not having that. I'm not paying more for a system than I could the original hardware, a fucking top loader with the dog bone controller and the games I want to play that are on that list of games for the NES. It's just so stupid. And it's called a collect. People are like, oh, it's such a collectible. It shouldn't be collectible. It shouldn't be collectible because it should kind of be in the same realm as plug and plays. They're like, they're just something that, everyone kind of has, just like little plug and plays, you put them into your TV, there you go, plug and play, boom. But no, people are taking this as like an actual, like, limited edition thing, which it shouldn't be a limited edition, but Nintendo has made it a limited edition. They have advertised it as if there's going to be this cool thing that everyone could have in their homes, but then they release it as if it was like a limited edition. So, am I going to get a Super Nintendo Classic? No, because I do not need a Super Nintendo Classic. If I wanted to play Earthbound, I could buy a repro cart and play it on the original hardware. Yes, it's a repro cart, but at the same time, I don't know. It's a repro cart. And plus, once Nintendo does the virtual console, like for the Switch, you'll be able to transfer virtual console games over, I believe, from the Wii U to the Switch. And I have Earthbound on the Wii U. Same with Super Metroid. I have that on the Wii U, so hopefully both of those will come over to the Switch. Hopefully for free. So I have no reason to buy that. And Star Fox 2, I can get a repro cart. Like, I can get a physical version of that game. Like, yes, it's going to be an official release by Nintendo. Probably have some new content because apparently it wasn't completely finished. With people, like, making the repros or whatever. So it'll be a completely finished game. But I've never been a huge Star Fox fan to begin with. I could literally give two shits, to be honest. And if Nintendo is going to give as much supply as they promise they will, then I'll just get it later on down the road. There's absolutely no reason for me to get it right now. If Nintendo are going to release a bunch of them, then there's no reason I can't get one down the road. Simple. Because if Nintendo fuck up with this, I'm done. And a lot of people are speculating a Game Boy Classic Edition, a Nintendo 64 Classic Edition. Okay, that I don't see. I don't see that at all. Super Nintendo Classic, a lot of people saw, a lot of people predicted, yeah. But N64, Game Boy, I don't see it. I really don't see it. I could see, like, for maybe the Switch, Game Boy compilation thing, like a compilation of Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games all in one thing. That I can kind of see. But other than that, not really. I don't see an Nintendo 64 Classic Edition. I don't think it's old enough yet. Same with the Game Boy. Well, the Game Boy is a little bit different. Being that it's a handheld, and I think it would be weird. Why would you want a handheld? Like, I don't get it. That'd be something I think would be better for the Switch. If you had a Game Boy compilation, like, best of Game Boy thing. Because Game Boy's probably going to be turning 30 soon, right? No, not 30. Yeah, 30 in, like, maybe 2019, right? Didn't the original Game Boy come out in 1989? If I'm not mistaken. So I have, like, a 30th anniversary of the Game Boy compilation thing in a couple years. Whatever, but that's not what this video is about. This is about the Super Nintendo Classic. So, I mean, if you want the Super Nintendo Classic, hey, more the power to you. They're apparently going to have more stock on it than the NES Classic, which I think is... They acknowledge that the NES Classic didn't have great stock. But they didn't do anything to fix it. That's the thing that bugs me. You know that you didn't do great with the stock of the NES Classic. So, your resolution is to stop production. It's like you're afraid of money. It's like you don't want to make money. It's like, oh, here's money coming into Nintendo. Oh, no, we don't want that. We want to do everything in our power to stay away from money. And yes, I am wearing pants in case you're wondering. Wearing shorts. Don't think I'm naked. But, oh, we don't want money. We're scared of it. No, like, why, Nintendo? You're doing everything to confuse me. I mean, granted, it's not hard to confuse me, but... You're doing all the right things to do it. And it's unfortunate because I was, I was hyped for that NES Classic, and I couldn't get one, and I probably will never get one, and it really sucks because I'll be honest, I'm a game collector, whatever, just like most of the people that are watching this. I have my collections. I have my GameCube collection, which is my biggest. My Nintendo 64 collection, which is like one of my smallest. My Super Nintendo collection. My Game Boy collection, my Wii collection, which is actually, that's probably the smallest. My Wii U collection, my now growing Switch collection, with one of my new recent pickups, Has Been Heroes and stuff. But I don't have anything on the NES. Nintendo's first game system, and I don't have anything for it. Because I've just never had luck with the hardware. I've just never had a working NES, I never gotten a top loader, which I might get a top loader, but that's besides the point. I've just never had a working NES. So to hear that Nintendo were going to release this NES Classic with Super Mario Brothers, Castlevania, I'm a guy, like, with a system like the NES, I'd be very specific on the games I want. With the GameCube, I'd be willing to get every single game on the damn console. But with the NES, it's kind of like, I want a few games, maybe a few novelty games. And all those games are basically on the Classic Edition. The 3 Mario Brothers, like, Castlevania. Like, hold on, let me see the games that are on the NES Classic Edition. Yeah, so the games I would want, like, for example, Mega Man 2. Okay, yeah, Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers 3. They do have Super Mario Brothers 2. Okay, that's just weird. So they have the first 3 Super Mario Brothers games. I would want those. Legend of Zelda. I would want that. Mega Man 2. I would want that. Pac-Man. Debatable, but I would want it. Metroid. I would want that. Kirby's Adventure. Again, debatable, but I'd probably want that too. Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, I'd want those too. Maybe not Dr. Mario. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which I'm guessing what that is. Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong Jr., Zelda 2, Excite Bike, okay. Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Double Dragon 2, Bubble Bobble, okay. Tecmo Bowl, Castlevania 2, I'd want. Mario Brothers, Super C, I'd want. Galaga, okay. Star Tropics, okay. Ghosts and Goblins, yes. So there's a lot of games that I would want for that. But guess what? I can't get one because Nintendo... Oh my god. Nintendo. Really? Like, I want one so freaking badly. I was almost about to drop the 100, whatever. I kid you not. I was looking at it. But I'm like, no. I can't do that to myself. As someone who... I've played an NES before, but it's like... It's just something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to have an NES system, play NES games with awesome original NES controllers, but I've never had a working NES for longer than a week before the pinch would fuck up on me and I wouldn't know what to do. Because, I was born in 1998, at the end of the 90s. I don't know anything about cleaning fucking NES cartridges or NES systems. I can't do any of that. So, maintaining those things is a bitch to me. I've had 5 NES systems in the past. One of them worked, and then that one fucked up. So, the NES Classic was something perfect for me. But guess what? I can't fucking get one because Nintendo's bitch asses they didn't make fucking enough. Because they don't want money, they don't want to fucking make money. They have all the opportunity in the world to make more money, to make their systems more of a success than they have been in the past few years. But guess what? Nintendo doesn't want to make enough of them. Same with the fucking Switch. They didn't make enough of the Switch in the beginning. So, Nintendo, work on making more supply. Don't do this bullshit where you artificially make the demand higher just so that you can get scalpers to sell them for a quick buck. Because that's what you're doing. That artificial demand you're making is the scalpers. And if you care about making less supply so that you can get a couple more sales from scalpers, then that's fucked up. That you don't want these in the hands of true gamers. That you want them in the hands of scalpers. People who will sell them to make a quick buck off of you. Because that's all they're doing. If you want to make fake demand so that there's more hype for your merchandise, it's not worth it. Okay? It's not. Make more SNES Classics. Make sure you have enough of that supply. And I got nothing. Because of you, I can't enjoy the luxury of a NES Classic that some people can. Some people are keeping them in the box. This is, like I don't get it. Like, I get it. Being a collector is cool and everything. This is the one thing I hate about game collecting. you know, some people will get things just to keep them in the box sealed. What's the point? What's the point of having something if you're going to keep it in the box all the time? Preventing people who can actually use it and actually want it to play it. Because I see people, like, no offense to you guys who actually have the system and have it, you know, just displayed just to have it, like, just to have the, like, or whatever. There are some people like me who actually want it to play it. Like, I can't get one because of the scalpers and the collectors. Because they're the ones that went out day one to make sure to grab one. Whereas, I'm just like, well, you know, I just kind of want it. And I want it to play. I'm not, like, so obsessed with it where I will literally stand out in a line at 1 o'clock in the morning to get one. But at the same time, I want one. Like, I don't know. It just kind of pisses me off to see, like, people have the NES Classic in the background of their videos, never touched, never moved, never taken out of the box. It's just like, what's the point? What's the point of having it if you're never going to touch it? Like, if you have, like, especially if you have an original NES in the box. Why do you want this NES Mini in the box? You already have the fucking real system in the box. Why do you want a mini version of it? That's released in 26... That was released in 2016, right? Yeah, I think it was. In 2016, why? Like, I don't get it. Like, for someone like me who wants it to play it. Like, I know I'm ranting on a lot about this, guys, but it honestly frustrates me. Because I've always, like, if you've been subscribed to my channel for the past nearly 5 years, you know that I've wanted an NES since the beginning. I have wanted to play NES games on my TV for 5 years. More than that, really, but publicly, I have been talking about it for 5 years. I've always wanted to do it. So when Nintendo announced this new system, I was very stoked for it. But being that I can't get one, and everyone who has one doesn't play it, or sells it for absurd amounts of money, it pisses me off. Just saying. So, that's it for this video. I've got nothing to say. I'm pissed off because Nintendo want to make this new Super Nintendo Classic Edition when they haven't even perfected the first NES Classic Edition. So, I honestly am at a loss for words. I don't know. I don't know. Nintendo, in my opinion, you fucked up with this. You better do something to fix it. All I gotta say. See you guys in the next video.